Fitz,
Hey.
what are you doing? Are you still going to look
Oh,
at...
I can't hear you. A second.
Oh.
Okay, my sound is back. What's up?
What are you doing presently?
I would like to finish up the spell book.
Okay.
I think.
All right.
Before heading out.
Arcana check, please.
Studies in batches. I will be looking at the probably the Black Spider book this time.
Okay.
Or,
Excellent. So this one, now that you've done the first book, understanding Undercommon is still a little difficult. You have to go to some reference material from other books and such, but you're starting to get the hang of it. And you pull out the Chromatic Orb spell. And that will, again, cost you 25 gold to copy down.
Okay, I'll remove that automatically.
And you start to pick up another spell, but you haven't quite got it down yet. But this one seems to be called Suggestion.
And that will just require a bit more time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think Fitz will take a break and he's gonna try and find Thanar.
Okay. So Thanar had gone and seen Darren Edermath. It's probably been a couple of days ago now. So Thanar.
Oh, go ahead and knock on his room.
Okay. Thanar, where are you?
I'm at Barthen's.
Okay.
And I am purchasing some, I guess, sticks and bags, like cloth bag and some hay to shove in them, because I want to go build a little training area on the John Green.
All right. Cool. Have you organized this with Sildar?
What?
For yourself or for others?
For myself for now.
Okay. Well, so have you talked about this with Sildar?
No, because first of all, I'm Thanar, and second of all, it's a pole that I'm going to stab in the ground.
Okay, so
make
just
it look
one.
like a human. Yeah,
Okay.
just one for now.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I had this idea that you were going to set up like the
Not quite
Mulan
yet, no.
the Mulan training camp. Okay. I mean, all of that will cost you maybe a gold piece.
Okay.
Yeah, it's super super cheap for a lot of that stuff. And so you build this this man. Let me see here. Let me see. How do I want to do this? I need you to make me a... This is disappointing. What am I going to do for this one?
Okay, I
Make a sleight
forgot.
of
Is a
hand
gold piece
check.
100 silver pieces or 10?
I actually don't know. Hold on. In the meantime, make me a sleight of hand check.
Okay. Do I get advantage because I'm a carpenter?
No.
Wow, how rude.
Oh.
Should have given me advantage.
Okay, so a gold piece is 10 silver pieces.
Okay, so it's 100 copper pieces.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm giving him.
100 copper pieces.
You're a motherfucker who
That
pays
poor
for pennies.
man.
He holds his hands out, and you give him 100 copper pieces.
I give him a woeful look because it's all that was in my pouch.
And he looks at this handful, and he looks at you, and he looks at the handful, And he sighs and he says, "Adventurers." And he just wanders off.
I'm just gonna shrug and say pocket change as I walk off.
He laughs at you and waves his
Pocket
hand.
sand.
Okay. So you get out into the green, and what you build could be considered a man if you were drunk, stood 100 feet away, and squinted.
That's probably good, because that's what Gundren's gonna be doing.
Pretty much. Okay. So I imagine that it doesn't take much for Fitz to find you because when you're driving this stick into the ground in the town green, ping on the map where you're setting this thing up.
Ugh. Let me see.
Probably right
Let me
there.
pull open my laptop. Let's do it a little bit. Let's do it a little bit back over here towards
Okay.
where nobody's house is.
Stars. Good. Thank you. People are sort of watching and pointing, and they're confused. And they're just like, what is he doing? Scarecrows don't go in the middle of... I mean, I guess. And
I mean, I guess.
yeah, it's just very confused. And this is when Fitz finds you.
I just gravitate towards the crowd of people and assume Thanar is somewhere.
That's safe. Yeah.
I'm gonna move past the grouping of people and to him, and I'm gonna kind of assume he's doing something that nobody asked him to and nobody wants him to, and I'm gonna say, "Hey, do you want to go up to Tressendar Manor with me?"
What for? As I just keep hammering away at this thing.
Tunk. Tunk.
Real estate? Ghost? Money? I don't know. For fun?
I'm setting up a training area for myself. Do you want to help?
Why don't you ask anyone from the crowd?
What crowd?
Like-
As Thanar just turns around and is like,
Gesture with my head.
what are they here for?
This show?
What show? Goes back to hammering.
Tunk. Tunk.
Next up, in the life of Thanar.
What?
Do you want to go? Listen, I can help you set this up later. Do you want to go to the manor or not?
What for?
I am going to cast a spell.
Oh no.
Oh no.
This kills the Fitzgerald.
Hold on. I need to read this and see what's the
Spell that
weight
broke
limit.
the Fitzgerald
Okay.
hat.
I want to cast Mage Hand,
Okay.
and I want to grab onto the pole that's he's like half hammering to the ground, and I want to yank it out of the ground.
This thing's pretty well hammered into the ground by
Is
now.
it? Okay, I wasn't sure how much work you had done.
Yeah, so the hand
Thanar's
can't...
done hammering now, and he's attaching
Oh.
these like straw bags to it.
Yeah.
He's nailing the crossbar on for the arms right now.
Oh, I want the hand to take the tools from his hand, or take like one of the tools, and I want to start doing it for him.
Okay. All right. So you try to catch the hammer on its way up and just pull it out of his hand?
Yeah, just yank it out and just like start whacking at it for him.
Okay. Thanar, how do you react to this weird spectral hand appearing?
Is the hand visible?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a spectral floating hand.
I'm gonna try and slap it away.
No, the Thanar, stop! It's doing your job for you.
But what?
Oh my God.
Okay.
You know what?
So
If you'll help me later, I'll go to the manor with you.
and then you go to the manor.
So, Fitz is here to check out the retail possibilities of this house.
Okay. Is Thanar going to help him?
Thanar knows nothing about retail value.
Okay. So Fitz will explain to you that he's sort of looking at this as a property opportunity and explain that he wants to know about the place. So let me have both of you make an investigation roll.
What the fuck, man?
There it is.
Okay, cool. Cyran, you and
Yes.
your party are making their way quietly through the woods. As quietly as possible, anyway. The one of you... you're moving as quietly as you can. Page Turn is making no sound. Like, at all.
Okay.
And Tuatha is making a lot less sound than you would expect someone of his size to make. Let me have a stealth roll from both Cyran and Malba.
Okay. Oh, how am I gonna do this? This is gonna be weird. So this is Cyran,
Mm-hmm.
and now I have to change the character. Boom.
Okay. Cyran, you're being very quiet as well. You step on the occasional leaf, but you're moving quickly, so that's not that big a deal. You're not making a lot of noise. Malba surprisingly is. Every now and then he'll step on a twig or a leaf or something. I think he sneezes at one point.
Dang
And you'll, huh?
Dang allergies.
And you'll stop and look, and Page Turn and Tuatha will converse for a while. Page Turn will pull out 1,000 different voices to get single words across. This is very clearly someone who has spent a lot of time analyzing people and watching them. You actually hear Malba's voice at least once.
Okay.
And you keep moving and keep moving. Eventually, you find this cave just probably half a mile into the woods in a deep, dark, dense cluster of trees. There's this hill that rises up out of the ground like as part of an earthquake, and then this hole that's into it and sort of goes down steeply at first and then levels out. Do you go inside?
So, how did we get to this point? Were we like following tracks or?
You were following Page Turn, who appeared to be following something. Page Turn and Tuatha were both tracking.
Okay. Does it look like those two want to go in that?
They're sort of hanging back at this point, and Tuatha will turn to you and say, "This would appear to be, as best as I can imagine, where a lot of the trouble is coming from. I would say it is very likely that this is the den of the wolves, or at least the wolf."
Okay. So let's go. And go into the cave.
All right. You make your way.
Can either of those two, do they have dark vision? I don't know if they do or not.
Tuatha does not.
Okay, so we would have to use some kind of light.
You would, or Tuatha could stay outside.
I mean, Malbo also can't see in the dark, so
Can Cyran?
yes.
Okay. Is this a point where Cyran and Page Turn might go in on their own?
Scout it out and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. Like, Malbo would probably tell Cyran that he should do that because of his night vision.
Okay. Interesting.
And although reluctant, Cyran will go.
All right. Sounds good. So how do you proceed?
I mean, as stealthily as possible, just entering the cave. Just like trying to like, if there's a corner, like slowly creep around the corner to like get as much, like have us see anything before it sees us.
Okay. You look over at one point at Page Turn, and he is wearing a pair of goggles that you didn't see him put on at any point. He's just wearing them.
Okay.
And you hear Malba whisper to you, night vision.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
They had night vision goggles in the 1200s?
There are goggles of dark vision.
Neat.
So they essentially
it's
have dark
magic.
vision cast on them, and you can look through them, and it's as though you had dark vision. I am
Side note,
going
I'll be
to
right back.
need from Cyran a dexterity saving throw.
Oh. That's Cyran, but I forgot to change the name.
Are you using two different character sheets or just...
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. You dodge out of the way of a bullet train of
Like an
flesh,
actual train.
of flesh and fur as it bolts out. Page Turn is not so lucky. You hear a slash and a crunch as he is yanked away, and you watch as charging towards the entrance of the cave is a very large wolf, larger than natural. And this has happened incredibly quickly.
Wait, so it's charging towards us and we're like at the entrance more or less?
So Cyran and Page Turn are in maybe 40, 50 feet.
Okay.
And you dodge out of the way as a giant wolf shape charges past you. And
Coming from what direction?
deeper
From the
into the
cave?
cave.
Okay.
And Page Turn has been pulled off his feet and is being carried by this creature towards the mouth of the cave.
I'll start running after, like to try to catch up.
Okay. Do you say anything or do you just run?
Is there any way for me to communicate to them without saying things? I don't think there is. No. They'd be able to hear. Yeah, we're only 40 feet in. I'll yell out Malbo's name.
All right. What does Malba do with his information?
He'll run to the mouth of the cave and probably see the wolf man carrying a Page Turn because, like, the light from outside, the moonlight or something. I don't know what time of day it is, but like he could probably like see it because the light's coming from outside the cave.
Okay. Malba, roll a dexterity saving throw.
Cyran. Okay. The name's wrong. I'm just gonna leave it as that. But yeah, that's Malba's.
Okay. You catch Page Turn as he is thrown at you. And it knocks you prone.
Okay.
And you see a wolf-human hybrid tower over you. And for a moment, you think it's going to just tear into you. And then Tuatha grabs it around the waist and drags it away, throwing it some small ways off to the side.
Okay, so it's outside the cave now.
Yes,
right
it
by
is.
the mouth.
Yes.
And Cyran is how deep into the cave?
At this point, probably 20 feet. You've been running. The beast, when it lands after Tuatha threw it, will get up on its all fours and look at you, and then rear back and howl loud and long, and then charge Tuatha again. At this point, Cyran has exited the mouth of the cave and sees the battlefield. Malba is on his back with Page Turn's body on top of him. Page Turn is bleeding from his side, but is still alive. What is
he like unconscious or?
No, he's still moving. He's still awake.
He's just hurt.
He's just hurt.
Okay. Cyran would probably just cast the Eldritch Blast at the creature.
Okay. So you cast this blast at him. Go ahead and roll to hit. Yeah, okay, you hit him. Damage doesn't matter at this point. You hit him with this Eldritch Blast, and it gives Tuatha the leverage he needs to get around behind him again, and he suplexes this wolf.
Oh.
Just up over his shoulder, and then down onto the wolf's neck and shoulders, and just bridges is what it's called when you hold on to someone after you suplex and just sort of hold them in place.
Okay.
Yeah, and he holds him there and yells for assistance. At this point, Malba is up, and Page Turn is also up. Page Turn flicks his wrists, and two knives come out, and he throws both of them in a single motion. Malba, what do you do?
Oh God. He would see, I can't use any of my higher level shit though, can I?
Just so if you hadn't noticed, I've not rolled much.
Yeah.
So
just like an idea of what I would do.
Tell me what you do.
So right now Furbolg is holding the guy. A suplex is where you just lift them up and like pretty much pull them over your head and like have them hit their head on the ground, right?
Essentially, yeah.
Okay, so he's holding them like upside down.
Mm-hmm.
Malba, can he run up and get to them with his speed?
Sure.
He would try to like hold them down as well. Just like start. Does he have something that can tie him up? I don't know what's in an explorer's pack, but like some kind of rope. Maybe try to tie him up.
Yeah.
Yeah, there should be some.
Yeah, you've got like 30 to 50 feet of rope in your pack.
Yeah, he would try to tie him up.
Okay. Hind legs, front legs. His arms are sort of sprawled out, and they're long and thick. His hind legs are up in the air and dangling.
Hind legs.
Okay.
Or start with the hind legs at least.
Let me have a sleight of hand check. Okay. You get the loop around one of his legs before he kicks you off, and he twists in Malba's he twists in Tuatha's grip and breaks free, and that's when the wolf hits Cyran. Just a regular wolf jumps out of the trees and hits Cyran.
Okay.
And you become aware that there is a small wave of wolves running out of the trees towards town.
Running out of where?
Just out of the trees around you.
Okay.
And they are clearly headed towards town.
Shoot. That's not good.
The werewolf pulls himself up and just underhand flips Tuatha away from himself and shakes off, looks around, and you'd swear he smiles at you before he charges after the wolves.
Well, it's a chase now.
It is. But first, Fitz and Thanar. It's a fixer-upper. A bit of damage structurally, but nothing that couldn't be mended over time. There are 2 walls that are still standing. You think it would be quite an effort, but this place could be considered livable again.
This place didn't burn down, right? It's just age.
Just age, yeah. Lot of dry rot, lot of wet rot, lot of rot.
With Thanar's carpenter knowledge, what does not the foundation, just all the, what do you say it? The modern day, what would just be 2x4s, the structures of the wall. That's what I'm going for.
Okay. Well, see, I made the mistake of having you roll investigation. If you want to bring your carpentry knowledge into bear,
I just want to see the structure of it.
Sure.
Being torn down.
Roll me a. So there is an option in your carpenter's tools where you get to pick the skill that goes along with it.
Say that again?
There is, so if you open your, there it is. If you open your adventurers kit, you've got your carpenter's tools, and it will query which of your skills to use with that item. Click that and add, use your intelligence.
Do I click it or select it on the...
So you click carpenter's tools, and it will ask you to input an attribute.
Ah, okay. Right. Gotcha.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So what are you trying to find out again?
Basically just if the walls and stuff are even worth keeping, or if it should just all be torn down.
So you start poking around, and there's still some beams overhead and some beams in the walls. Yeah, it'd probably be best to sort of just start over on the...
Is any of it salvageable? Because it is pretty old wood.
So Some of it could be called distressed. If you were using some of those sort of Neverwinter muckety muck terms that you've heard, but probably not any structural stuff. You think that a lot of the furniture that may still be here could be salvaged, maybe some of the cabinets, but not a lot. It's a mess. The stonework looks fine where it's still standing. It would just need to be built on and refurbished, but the woodwork specifically is real rough.
You know, Fitz, most of this wood is pretty old. We should probably can use any of the stuff that's still unrotted for my potential training site if I decide to build it.
Well, when are the dwarves siblings or like clan, whatever they are, here yet?
They are not here yet.
Damn it. I was gonna contract them.
You know, I think they'll have work of their own.
Shut up. I don't care. They're building my, or hotel. I don't know what this is gonna be.
So you're sort of standing here when you're suddenly aware that Nundro is next to you.
Jesus Christ, he teleports!
And he's just like, he takes a long pull on a mug of ale that he just sort of has as he
I'm
leans.
gonna hold my hand out.
As he
to
leans.
see if I can...
What?
I'm gonna hold a hand out and see if I can get a draft.
Oh, he just hands it to you, no problem.
And I'll just take a swig and hand it back to him.
Yeah, and
Oh my God.
he's leaning on another cask of ale.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and he's just looking around and he's like, "Hey, this place has seen better days."
Yeah, certainly. I haven't been here to see it, though.
I don't think that either of us have lived long enough, or possibly could live long enough.
What are you doing up here, Nundro?
I got bored. I saw a cool thing on a hill.
It's
Now
been
I
here this whole time.
Aye, it has been here this whole time, but I haven't. He takes another long draw.
I think I love him.
How'd you get the barrel of ale up here?
And he flexes on you. He just like,
And I was gonna nod, satisfied.
Also, it's not as big as the ones back home. Not as good either.
What do you...
Do what?
Yeah, you cut out.
Oh, I was gonna say, what do you think it'll take to fix this place up, huh?
A miracle. Not a lot of money.
Oh,
Isn't that the same thing? When's the rest of your clan supposed to get here, Nandro?
You know how it is with family. They kind of show up whenever they like and leave the way after they should. I imagine... probably by the end of the month.
What day is it in the month currently?
These are interesting questions you're asking that don't matter. Out of character, they won't be here until like next session.
Okay. Sounds good. That don't matter.
So, is this your place or what?
I was thinking about it being my place, but
Oh, so it's not your problem yet. You still got time.
It's nobody's problem yet. Except,
Oh, it's
I guess
somebody's
the mayor.
problem.
I wonder if the mayor would like it torn down. Maybe we could make a little bit of money out of this. Then do it.
You want something knocked down? All the way?
All the way.
I'll need more ale.
Yeah.
I'll help you carry it up here.
Done.
And they'll shake on it.
Oh my god.
So, when do you want to get started?
Oh.
Think the mayor will pay us to do it?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know him very well.
I feel like I have a little bit of sway over him.
Oh, do you now? Dirty letters. Can I read them?
Oh, I wish it was something as good as that.
I do too.
I'm sure we could fake them.
That's a different kind of business. But I don't know, honestly. It seems a little out of sorts for me. I'm more about
Yeah.
building and breaking and all that fun stuff. Never was the smart one myself.
kind of-
Not much for book learning. Well, anyway, this cask of ale is getting hot or cold or whatever. I'm gonna get it back to the wherever it is.
Yeah.
If you need me, find me. That's fine. And he hefts the barrel up on his shoulder, and he'll hand the mug back up to Thanar.
Is there anything left?
Barely.
Finish it off anyway.
Yep. And then he's gone. He doesn't even take it back. He's just gone.
Gonna take a bit more work than I was hoping. Think Fitz will slightly dejectedly return to the townmasters, or I guess return to the John Green to remove the crowd and finish Thanar's, because he promised help.
Are they just still
He's
there
not-
watching?
It's not that late. They might have followed to see what else we'd wreck.
So you get back over there.
Oh, Dad took it up.
So you get back over there, and the crowd has dispersed. But as you walk up, you see that like a couple of the kids in town have like come over and taken your sack off this thing, and have like made a respectable scarecrow out of it. That just like your stuffed sack of a target has now become like a man shape.
Well, time
Oh,
to
you
put it
can't
to
go
the
and
test.
set. Don't even think about it.
And then I draws a sword.
No, Thanar, please think about it.
Think of the
His
children.
wife and kids and family, probably.
Thanar looks around and doesn't see any other scarecrows. So Thanar's gonna take a good old training swing at it, see if it holds up.
Now,
This is gonna shout, "Look out!" to all the kids that are just about to get fucking decapitated.
no, the kids are like gone. Like when you run up, they run off.
Okay.
They run off giggling and like stand over here or like hide and peek around. And they see you draw your sword and like, all right, Thanar, let me have an athletics check.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
The head comes off, and it goes straight up into the air, probably a good 10 feet. And the kids are silent, and they just stare. And they watch the head go up and stop and then come down, and it hits the ground and bounces once. And they all yell, "Yay! Again!"
Then I was gonna pick up the head,
Uh-huh.
and he's gonna not like a mean throw, but like throw it straight up in the air, so it lands not straight up, but into the group of children.
Yeah,
to see who
like
can catch it.
underhand.
Yeah, like 500. To see
Nice.
who can
Nah,
catch
he just
it.
like will wind up and it goes Mach 9 at the table in his nose.
One of the little girls will catch it and she'll ew and throw it off to someone else, and it sort of becomes a game of hot potato. Cyran, as you're running, Malba passes a healing potion to Page Turn, who downs it on the run. Actually, he runs up and climbs on Tuatha's back for a second so that he can focus on drinking this potion. And it's like Tuatha doesn't even notice. And you're charging through the woods as fast as you can, trying to chase down these wolves. And you've got a good half-mile run. And as Page Turn finishes this potion and his wounds sort of knit over, you hear a deep voice, a deep man's voice say, "Hurry." And then he repeats it, "Hurry." And then he jumps off and charges ahead, just moving nearly twice as fast as any of the rest of you. And it takes you a good long while to get there, but you charge out of the trees and see the town. And what you see is chaos. Anything that is outside of a building is dead or dying or fighting.
Oh, fuck.
The town guard is doing their best, but these wolves are hunting in a giant pack. They're moving quick and darting through alleyways, and you see maybe 10 wolves laying bleeding out at the feet of these guards, but there's still more of them. And then in the middle, by that fountain that you had seen earlier, is this easily 8 feet tall giant of a werewolf. And he's pointing and howling and barking and laughing as everything around him just crumbles. And as he sees you charge out of the woods, he runs to a nearby house and grabs a door and just rips it off its hinges, letting the wolves in. And he throws it at you. Make a dexterity saving throw.
For both?
For Malba. Yeah, Malba just deftly dodges out of the way, and it slides essentially under his feet as he jumps over it in mid-flight. And by the time you get there, Page Turn has already been in the middle of the fray for a short amount of time. And he's got a short sword that's darting here and there and finding wolf flesh and then tearing through to the next. And he's got 3 at his feet already with a number still circling. And you're into the fray. How do you handle this situation?
What'd you say? You cut out a little bit.
How do you handle this situation?
Maba would yell, "Go after the big one. He's their leader. Without him, they don't know what to do." And we'd all charge the big guy.
All right. You and Malba and Cyran both charge at the big guy. Tuatha, however, makes his way to a number of the city watch who are being beset by the largest number of these wolves, and he slams his staff into the ground, and you can hear a ringing, and then he begins to bark and growl and howl and yip and make all sorts of wolf sounds, and all of the wolves that have been surrounding this group hunker and growl at him and then slowly calm as he continues to speak at them. And you charge into this. You charge at this werewolf, just the two of you, Malba and Cyran. And he opens his arms wide to meet you. What do you do?
Well, first, Cyran is going to cast the Armor of Agathis on himself, and then cast Hexblade's Curse on the big guy.
All right. What do those do?
I'll do this, and I'll do this.
Okay. Cursed. Okay, so you gain bonus damage. You also up your crit. Okay. An Armor of Agathis is an extra hit points. Damage to
10 hit
himself.
points.
Okay, cool. All right. So that is what Cyran does. Malba, I'm imagining, goes into a flurry of jabs with his short sword and punches and kicks and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
Every blow that you land feels like you're kicking a barrel, and it has just about as much effect. Your damage physically doesn't appear to be getting through as heavily as you would hope. And let me have another dex check from Malba.
Dex save.
Yes, please. Malba is caught in a slash that carries him a good 10 feet in the air, landing on his feet and taking some fairly significant slashing damage in the process. As this happens, Cyran, you see a knife flash into the wolf's chest, and it causes the wolf to howl in horrible pain, and it glints as it sticks out of his chest, and you realize it's silver.
Oh, okay.
Malba could probably use that. Let me have from Cyran an Arcana check.
That's rough. Okay.
You know that silver hurts lycanthropes.
Okay.
The wolves that Tuatha is dealing with have calmed down and are slinking away towards the woods and running off, leaving their wounded and dying fellows behind. Tuatha then turns and speaks to the guards behind him, and they sort of rally and stand again, and he leads them off to a house that has become full of wolves, where he performs the same thing. Page turn is a flurry of blades and strange sounds. You hear the kookaburra, you hear a gong. You hear the sound of a hammer on an anvil. You hear the sound that your bow staff makes when it hits a training dummy. It's noises and blade work. Cyran, what do you do?
I'll just keep trying to see. So if it felt like regular weapons weren't hurting it,
Right.
only the silver.
Mhm.
And you said someone threw a silver thing at him?
Yes, page turn through a silver dagger that is stuck in his chest.
Cyran would try to pull the dagger out of his chest.
Okay. You are going to have to move in very close to grab it.
That's fine.
Sleight of hand. You get in very close, and you do not grab the dagger. And now you are in the face of this beast. And I think that he probably just comes down on you with a slash across your chest that lands, but as it does, a wave of frost moves up his claws, and he clenches that hand into a fist and howls in pain, and then backhands you. Let me see a dex save.
For Cyran?
Mhm.
Oh.
You jump out of the way, just straight backwards, and he swings wide. Make another sleight of hand check to grab that blade.
Oh my god.
Nope. You reach to grab it, but he's just moving too quickly. What does Malba do?
So he's on his feet. Did he see the silver thing?
Mhm.
And he would be pretty knowledgeable about that stuff. So he feels like he needs to get that silver thing out of him to do real damage to him. So he'll try to run up and pull it out as well.
Okay. So are you going to let's turn that into your attacks. So you come in with your short sword and slash it across his face, and a spinning kick to the hip area, the upper leg, and then a punch to the chest, which turns into grabbing the dagger and pulling it free. And he howls in rage and begins to run. He turns and attempts to run. What do you do, Cyran?
Let's see. I gotta read up on one of these spells. I'm trying to see if I can use Mage Hand to trip up the wolf.
The hand cannot make attack rolls.
But can it grab something?
No,
Or can only-
because grappling is an attack roll.
Oh, okay. I meant like grab an object and have the object trip it. But it can only grab up to 10 pounds, and I'm pretty sure that thing would just run through a 10-pound thing.
Right.
What else can I do? I don't want to use another spell because I only have one spell left, but what is this? I guess he'll use command on the thing. The wolf.
All right. Tell me about command.
I'll just say halt.
All right. So what is the spell? What does the spell do exactly?
You say a one-word command, and it must make a wisdom saving throw. And if it fails, it has to follow the command.
All right. Wisdom save, you say?
Yeah.
Un momento, por favor. There it is.
Okay.
What is your spell save DC?
14.
He skids to a halt. And what do you do in this moment? What does Malba do specifically?
What does Malbad do? He tries to... How big is this thing? 8 feet?
Yeah, about.
Like, how much do you think it weighs?
Oh, goodness. 350,
Okay.
400 pounds.
I feel like Maba would try to somehow knock it to the ground.
Okay. Let's say that is going to be... Let's have an athletics check.
What? I was hoping you didn't say that, but okay. Okay, I'll take it. Average.
Okay. You take a swing at the back of its knee with your new silver dagger, and it goes down on that knee, and it is not prone, but injured and down. Fitz, what are you doing?
Oh my god.
I don't want to say that I'm finishing the spell books, but I'm finishing the spell books.
All right, let me have an Arcana check.
I need to knock it out. Oh, that's for the other spell book.
All right. You finish Suggestion, and for 25 gold, you can put it in your book.
Cool. I guess I'll do it.
You also learn Catapult,
Oh.
which you may also put in your book.
Yeah, I'll do it. That brings me back down to my starting amount of gold. So I used all the 100 that I got. You know what? That's all good. And then,
You get the feeling there's probably more here, but it would take more time.
oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just leave it with those 4.
Yeah, I think that's
I
good.
mean, but what if
That's-
there's a trebuchet in there? Then you can launch a 90 kilogram stone, 300 meters.
300 meters, yeah.
All right, Thanar, you want to speak up? What are you doing?
What time of day is it?
Anytime.
If it's nighttime, I want to go to the bar room.
You want to go to the Sleeping Giant?
Indeed.
All right.
I want to find one of the dwarves.
All right. You find Gundren awake, and you hear Tharden from under the Nundro from under the table.
And what are they doing?
Gundren is writing furiously and cross-checking maps and a little thick brown book. And every now and again he will stop, put the pen behind his ear, and take a long draw on a mug, and then go back to writing.
What's Nundra doing under the table?
He's sleeping.
Ah, okay. How many flasks are sitting there on the table for Gundren?
Gundren's got 5. Nundro has 3 under the table.
I'm gonna walk up to Gundren and say, "Huh, 5 already? I guess I need to start drinking if I'm gonna beat you."
Gundren looks at you, and he closes his book.
Oh God.
And he puts it down on the table, and he pushes it into the middle of the table. And he puts the pen down next to it. And he's not taking his eyes off you at any point. Lad.
And keep going.
I don't think you meant to say that. These are 5 from the past. And he looks at the wall where there isn't a clock and he says, however long. And you want to challenge a dwarf to drink an ale.
And without looking away from him, I want to hold up 2 fingers to the nearest barmaid.
There are no barmaids. It is Grista.
Okay, just Grista.
Yeah, so you
work.
hold up 2 fingers. And she says, hey, you'll have to come get him yourself.
I'll walk over there and
Mhm.
I'll go get 2 cups and I'll sit down at the table and I'll put one in front of Gundren and I'll keep the other one.
Lad, before we get started, I don't think you know what you're doing.
There's only one way to find out.
I've not had this much fun in a while. All right, then. Have at you, then. And he drains it.
And I'm gonna throw my head back and do the same.
Okay. Let us have a con save from Thanar.
Con save, eh? Okay.
Oh,
Remember.
stars. I need a pen.
It's only the first one. That's all I'm gonna say.
10. All right. Oh dear. Okay. So you have not been to this bar before. And what you have in your mouth is ale in the strictest terms. You would also call it by its other name, which is hog spit. It's awful. But it works. And it is booze, and you do not like it. You feel a bit nauseous, and then you look over at Gundren, and he feels just the same. All right, lad. That was one. How many more you got in you?
As I said, there's only one way to find out.
And
I'm gonna go grab 2 more from the counter.
Grista will look at you and say, is this going to be a thing? Are y'all going to make this a thing?
I've not a clue what you mean, Grista.
Oh, no. Not again. All right, fine. You sit down, and I'll bring him to you until one of you dies.
And Thanar will just give her a wry chuckle.
All right. Oh, stars. All right. So you do the same thing. Let's have a Constitution saving throw. This one's a lot easier. You're used to it at this point. And you down it, and You both start at the same time, but Gundren beats you to the end. Oh, that was good stuff. And Grista is already there with 2 more for each of you, for a total of
She's an
4.
enabler.
And she puts 2 down in front of both of you. And it's like, all right, if you're going to do it, at least do it right.
They're just gonna pick one up in each hand.
Okay. Gundren will look at you and at both mugs, and then over at the 6 he's got next to him. No, the 7 at this point. And he just he's like, yeah, okay. And he grabs both of them. He's like, here's to your health, lad. And down goes another one. Let's have a con save.
Ugh.
Okay. You feel this one. This one did not go well. It hurts. Beer isn't supposed to burn. It burns. You look at Grista, and she gives you this wry grin. And Gundren has finished his quite handily. And then he looks at you and just lets out a horrendous belch. Oh, I don't think that one landed right. All right, lad. You want to keep going, or should we call it?
And then again, without breaking eye contact, Thanar is gonna raise this one up to his the second one up to his lips in his left hand,
Con save, boyo.
and go for it.
This time you do very quite well. Like, this one is surprisingly smooth. The flavor seems to be disappearing as well. You're just handling it well. And Gundren looks green. Chris, Krista, that's half another then.
Looks like I've still got it in me.
Oh, I hope you can keep it in you for the rest of the night. And Grista will say, hi, me too. You're cleaning up anything you leave. She brings you 1 more each. Make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh no.
There's a moment where you stare deeply into each other's eyes, and you both realize that this was stupid. This was a deep mistake. And then there's a sparkle in Gundren's eyes as you realize that you have just gone toe-to-toe with a dwarf in a drinking contest. And he respects that about you. And you both down this last ale. And the mugs hit the table at the same time. And you smile at each other. And then Gundren starts swaying back and forth. And it almost looks like you're not quite sure how he's even staying on his stool. And then you realize that he's probably not swaying that much, and that a lot of it is probably you, because you're also swaying. And then the camera pulls away from the table as both of you go face first into your mugs.
And then there's just the 3 of us passed out at that table.
Yeah, and it is a cacophony of snores. Malba, make me a dexterity saving throw. Flame.
Flamu.
Well, if he stepped away, Fitz, are you? What are
Sorry
you?
about-
Oh, there you are.
My mom came in the room.
Yep, no worries.
Your mom. Sorry.
So, make me a dexterity saving throw, Malba.
For who?
Malba.
Oh.
You brought the creature to its knees, but as you did, he lands and swipes backwards, and you are thrown backwards a good 15 feet and land flat on your back. Cyran, it's at this point that you see Page Turn rush past, just a flurry of feathers. And he's being chased by 2 wolves, and he's charging straight at this creature. What do you do?
He's charging at the big one.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if he's going after the big one, I'll Eldridge Blast one of the ones that's chasing him.
Okay. You hit, and the wolf goes down. It slides to a dead stop. The other one is still chasing Page Turn, who throws one more silver dagger into the creature, who roars and turns and catches him in midair as he runs at him with his short sword drawn. And Page Turn gets a jab into his forearm before he's thrown away, and he disappears into an alley. And the wolf that was chasing him follows, as well as 2 others. Tuatha has scared off another small pack of wolves and is moving from house to house as he goes with the city guard, keeping them protected. And now it's you and Malba alone against this werewolf. What does Malba do? He's on his back, prone.
Well, he'll get up first. And he is not doing too hot, right? He's been hit twice.
Yeah, he's been hit a couple of times and pretty hard.
He would probably just throw some darts at him, I guess.
Okay. You throw darts at this werewolf, but I imagine that since you knew you were going to fight a werewolf, you've prepared yourself, and they have silver tips which pierce the creature's side, and he howls and just swipes his arm across his side, and they come out, and he runs. This creature, even though his leg is fairly well severed behind the knee, you notice that he's healing slightly, and he runs into a house. What do you do, both of you?
Run at the house.
Okay. You both get to the door at the same time to see this werewolf is towering over these 2 children, a boy and a girl. And he just stands there staring at you with the 2 of them between his forearms. And of course the kids are kids, crying and the whole thing. And there's just this silence otherwise. The rest of the town disappears, and it's just Cyran and Malba in this doorway, and a werewolf standing over these two children. What do you do?
I feel like Malba with his injuries can't run up and do anything. He'll die if he gets any closer and he gets hit again. So in that moment of hesitation, Cyran will run up and try to stab him with his sword right through the chest.
Okay.
And as kind of motion of like stabbing him, but also like separating the kids from him, like getting in between the kids and the werewolf.
There is a moment here where nothing happens. And then Cyran is moving. And I can't imagine there's much thought behind it, because if there was, this would not be the correct answer. But he tackles this werewolf, which is dumb on the face of it. You're not even 6 feet tall, and this thing is 8 feet tall, and it has to weigh 2 of you. But that's who you are. It's who you've always been, no matter what else has happened. And you charge this creature, and you hit it just the right way, and it falls backwards. And the children run as hard as you've ever seen any creature run. And Malba is able to get them out of the house safely. And Cyran stabs again and again and again. And your blade doesn't need to be silvered. Your blade is boiling with shadows and darkness, and it glints with some black fire from who knows where as it goes into the chest of this creature again and again. And in its final moments, it throws you through a wall, just off of it and through a wall. And that's the last thing that Cyran remembers. What Malba sees is a death rattle and desperation. Cyran goes through a wall and disappears, and the creature rolls onto its front and levers itself up on one arm, bleeding black blood all over the room. And this is, I think, Malba's moment to strike. He sees how weak this creature is, and he moves in quickly and quietly, and with a flurry of blows, dispatches this beast. And it falls and reverts into a man about Malba's size, about Malba's build, but with a rough, scraggly beard and scars all over his body. And we cut back outside. A week has passed now. Cyran is still out. He comes to every now and again and asks pretty much the same question, wanting to know how Malba is doing. And then he falls asleep again. It'll take him some time to recover from a wound like that. Tuatha will rejoin you. He has moved from group to group of these wolves, sending them back into the forest, back home, convincing them with his ability, speech of beast and leaf, to convince them that here is not where they need to be, and the damage that they have caused to man is not their intended purpose. You don't see Page turn for a while. Once he got thrown down that alley, you don't know where he went, but he was gone for a couple of days before anyone actually found him again. And when they did, he was in rough shape. At last count, he had probably felled on his own a good 10, maybe 12 wolves. The town was saved, but at great cost. Many families lost their lives, many houses destroyed. Time passes again, and you all find yourself back at Helm's Hold. Tuatha is called away to other work. I don't know where exactly or what forced him to, but the last you heard of him, he had walked into the ocean at Neverwinter and just laid down on his back and was carried out to sea. Page Turn was undergoing physical therapy at the Hold, though he was progressing much faster than Cyran, who would not be able to join anyone for any period of time, at least not for several months. And Malba was the least injured of any except for Tuatha. He only took a week or two of leave before he was reassigned to a newly formed group of 3, one a gnome wizard and the other a half-orc fighter. They had a mission coming up that would take them to Neverwinter to meet with a dwarf who had a shipment for them to protect. Cyran, you wake up. You fell asleep in the carriage. Across from you is Abriv Hadam, who is looking at you with a very concerned look in his eyes. Bad dreams, my friends.
You could say that.
The camera pulls away from the carriage, which is peeking now over the hills of the Sword Mountains. And as Cyran looks out, he can see the sleepy town of Phandalin below and his next assignment. And I think that's where we'll call it tonight.